this presentation, we're going to talk about energy and how our oils, essential oils, also have that beautiful energy and vibration and frequency, and how it affects us. And my main interest is emotions and mood. I'm a mental health social worker, and I love working with people to help boost their mood or help them have a more calmer baseline, able to step into joy. And we all dip into sadness sometimes and depression, but not to get stuck there. So I use oils a lot for that. So I thought I'd share what I've found out. So welcome. I thought I'd begin with the limbic system. This is what we're mostly aware of when we talk about essential oils. That's breathing the oils in, aromatherapy. So if you look at that picture of the brain there, you'll see the olfactory bulb, in through the nose, behind the nose. And when a fragrance is inhaled, the molecules travel up the nostrils to this part of the nasal cavity, and then it triggers the olfactory receptor, which sends an impulse to the bulb. And the important thing I like to share is it then sends a message to the amygdala, that part of the brain where emotions and memories are stored. And that's why if you smell something and you suddenly get a flashback to a memory, it's triggering that memory. Or perhaps for some people, a smell might create fear, or another smell might create a feeling of love, depending on what that smell is. Usually with the oils, it's not fear, unless something bad happened when you're smelling oranges or something. I don't know, it's possible. But you do have a physiological and a psychological effect. And that then, so after you smell it and the amygdala responds, it creates a reaction in your whole nervous system. So it affects the whole body. So you might get a difference in your heart rate, your blood pressure, you might breathe a little bit slower, or if you smell something that creates fear or anxiety, the opposite will happen. Your heart will pump faster, you might sweat, you might breathe more rapidly. So it affects you, what you smell. So I thought we'd just start with smell before we move into emotions and vibrations. So emotional control center is what they often call the limbic lobe, or the part that connects to the amygdala. And you can feel all sorts of emotions, as I just said. So the limbic lobe also directly activates the hypothalamus. So this also controls your temperature, hunger, thirst, fatigue, sleep, circadian cycles. So that's when you wake and sleep, when all the hormones are released. And then it affects things like growth hormones, sex hormones, thyroid hormones, and neurotransmitters. So they're the little chemicals that go around your body affecting your mood, like serotonin. If you've got depletion of serotonin, you might have more of a low mood. Things like endorphins and oxytocin, the love hormone. So everything is connected and affected when we smell. So you might have just thought, oh, it smells nice. But in fact, there's a whole lot more going on. Any questions so far? Nope. Before we get to the vibration. Nope. So just out of interest, I thought it was good to look at lavender and peppermint. They're quite common essential oils that most people know about. And lavender and peppermint can affect appetite and arousal. Can you guess which one affects appetite and which one affects arousal without reading it? Like sexual arousal?
Peppermint for appetite.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So peppermint has been used to trigger weight loss by suppressing that appetite or reducing that appetite. So there was a study of over 3,000 patients, and the individuals had previously not had any luck. They'd been unsuccessful in any type of weight management program, and they showed that there was a correlation between the amount of weight they lost and the correlation with the frequency they used their peppermint aroma inhalers. So that's interesting. So you can see here how peppermint's affecting the body through the nose and then all the way down to digestion and appetite. And then this is one for lovers, lavender. I didn't know this about lavender. I always thought you had to go for the other oils, but apparently there was a study that looked at the ability of aroma to enhance libido, which is like the sex drive, sexual arousal. And among the scents, it was lavender that produced the highest increase in arousal. I don't know what other scents they're using. I'm sure there's other oils. Isn't it like, what are some of the ones that are recommended by Young Living for libido, Kay?
We have a blend called Sensation, and the ladies like to rub that on their thighs.
I'm glad you said thighs.
Well, you
Yes.
can start there.
Yeah.
So also ladies sclerol and progescence. So progescence is definitely one for supporting the libido. And ladies
And
sclerol.
the hormones.
And yes, exactly. Clary sage, and you'll find that clary sage is in a lot of the hormonal ones anyway. So yes.
Yeah. So we've got some good vibrations going on there. So let's look at vibration theory. This is where it starts to get more interesting. So I was reading all of this, by the way, in a great desk reference, essential oil. Oh, I don't know if you can see it with my weird, it's disappeared. Anyway, it's the essential oil desk reference put out by Young Living. So the Italian scientist Lucia Turin, excuse my pronunciation, theorized that it is the vibrational properties of molecules that enable us to distinguish the smells. So all the little molecules of the oils vibrating, and then these affect the olfactory receptors that are vibrating in our nose, and the nose and the bulb is attuned to different frequencies. So this is kind of similar to the rods and cones in our retina, in our eyes. They respond to different wavelengths and vibrate. And the little hair cells in our ear, in that cochlear part, I think it is, they activate and respond and move and respond to the frequency of sound waves. So it's also possible that smell is a vibrational sense. So I thought that was very interesting. Had you heard of that? The vibration theory of smell?
Well, I guess with smell, to me, it is about vibration and frequency. That's how I've always perceived it. So, yes, it does make.
Good. So if you look at our bodies and just electrical energy in general, not everyone is aware of this, Kay. I know you are. And I wasn't really until I started to study the Heart Math Institute, which I'll go into in a minute. We often don't notice that our spirits, thoughts, emotions, and body are all made of energy. And we're not always taught that in school. We don't know that we're mostly vibrating.
No, that's right.
And that everything is energy, everything's vibrating, and this is how we communicate. It's how everything's organized in our body. Everything's moving at a very, very small, subatomic particle level. So we are all frequency. So the best way to understand this, if you're not familiar, is probably with sound waves and electricity. So we know that electricity travels through wires, and that sound waves, especially now with our internet and phone, travel on waves as energy. But we don't realize that not everyone realized, I didn't, that we're all like little mobile phones emitting our own frequency as well. And the frequency that we put out affects the world around us, and the frequency of others and what we interact with or put on our body affects our energy. And so what you say, what you do, where you go, it all affects your electromagnetic field, which is really, really interesting. And even things we think are actual physical objects are all moving with energy. And yeah, just fascinating, really. So Albert Einstein, you probably all heard of him, said everything is energy, and that is all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. So when I read that, I get excited because that also makes me think about the law of attraction and manifestation, and that when we pay attention to our frequency, we attract the same frequency. Does that resonate with anybody?
Definitely. When you're feeling upbeat and in a good mood, people are more likely to want to be around you and talk to you and be part of whatever you're doing. And when you're feeling, tired, grumpy, low, other people might sort of tune in and go, well, that's not really where I'm at, so I might just keep a big distance at the moment.
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
Even your thoughts are vibration and frequency. So your thoughts are very powerful and just as powerful as
Yes.
a word.
Yes. Yeah, totally. And I love the studies they've done where they've had like little plants growing on one side of the world in like a laboratory setting, like with a control plant. And then they've got people to send loving thoughts to those plants on the other side of the world from a different laboratory. And, they've labeled them A and B, it's all controlled. And the one that they were focusing on, that plant, grew faster. And that's from like miles away. There's all these studies if you go into the Heart Math Institute. And also they've had a group of meditators focus on a certain city and send, love and positive vibes, and it's reduced the crime rate. Like there's actually been a drop in the crime rate. So we're not just talking local, we're talking global. Maybe we're even talking universal, like everything's connected. So fascinating. So look, there's a picture of, I don't know, is that like a 4G or 3G tower or something? We are being influenced by magnetic action or attraction and frequencies all the time. And everything has an electrical frequency measured in megahertz. So this is interesting because I'm going to show you some different frequencies of things, oils, our bodies in megahertz, even emotions. So in 1920, Dr. Raymond Rife found that using certain frequencies can destroy a cancer cell or virus. Some frequencies can prevent the development of a disease or destroy a disease. So this is now being introduced into medicine, which is exciting. And can't say a lot probably about it, but if you're interested to look into that, because I think it's so interesting, and it's probably the future of medicine to use frequency. I know they're using sound, they're using light, and they're using plants, essential oils, and they're using the frequencies of all these to now work on our well-being and health. And then you look at the frequencies that are bad for us, it's now starting to become apparent that they're impacting our health. Yeah, so things just like having mobile phones next to your bed that are still emitting a frequency has been shown to affect our sleep and our circadian rhythms and everything. So fascinating times. I don't think enough people are paying attention to it yet or are as aware. And did you know, this is where it gets even more exciting if you're into essential oils, that the highest frequencies are essential oils. They're higher than the frequencies of herbs or food. So clinical research shows that essential oils have the highest frequency of any natural substances known to man, wow, and can create an environment in which microbes cannot live. So this is according to studies. There's lots of research and science. I can send you in the direction if you want to read that. And according to Dr. Rife's theories, every disease has a frequency, and a substance with a higher frequency will alter that disease that is at a lower frequency. So it's kind of like if you've got something at a lower frequency, you can add a higher frequency to alter it. So that's exciting. It means we can begin to affect our vibration and frequency with essential oils, which will support our wellness, our immune system, our mood. Amazing. Who wants to hear more? Yeah?
Me?
Yeah, me too. Me, yeah.
Yep, okay.
Please.
So, sickness, disease, depression, negative thoughts and emotions, so the ones that keep us low and unwell, are of a low frequency. And it has been said that the lower the frequency, the closer we come to sickness, disease, and eventually death. Oh, excuse all my spelling mistakes, but the higher the frequency, the closer we come to God, source, happiness, health, prosperity. So there's a few people that have studied this, probably a lot of people. Let's have a look at it. So you can see that picture on the right. This is from the Heart Math Research Centre, and they have been studying the electromagnetic field that the heart puts out in particular, which is 100,000 times stronger electrically and 5,000 times stronger magnetically than the brain. Now, I did not know that, but it makes a lot of sense now about why we feel things in our heart, and why if we focus on our heart and gratitude, that seems to affect and impact others and change our environment, because people can feel it. Literally, people feel our electromagnetic energy. Did you guys know that?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. So the heart generates this really strong field, and then this can be affected by feelings of love and compassion, and then that creates a nice synchronized heart rate variability and coherence with the brain. So when you're feeling good and you're focusing on love and compassion, you then also think clearly, make better decisions. The world is basically a better place. So that's one kind of aspect. That's just looking at the heart. Every organ in the body has its own electromagnetic field, its own, it's measured in megahertz. And this is beautiful. We can see the person on the left is in fear, or whichever way you're looking at it, the little one. And the big field, that's when we're in love. So they've actually measured this at the Heart Math Institute. So when you are in the higher frequency of love, you're more likely to be in coherence and order in your body. Your immune system works better, growth and repair happens, activates more DNA coding sites, lengthens the telomeres. So they're the parts of your DNA, I think I've got this right, that relate to aging.
Mm-hmm.
And yes. when you're in fear, did you want to say something about that, Kate? The telomeres?
Oh no, I'm just agreeing. I think that sounds like it's a fact.
I know it's to do with aging. I'm not sure which. I think it's connected to, anyway, the telomeres. Research it. And then if you are in fear, you shrink. Your electromagnetic field shrinks, and your frequency lowers, and you're more likely to create disorder, discoherence. Your immune function goes down. You get more stressed, more susceptible to disease. Shortens your telomeres, so you're going to die younger, and activates less the DNA coding sites.
So I've just Googled, Mel. So telomere length shortens with age. progressive shortening of telomeres lead to senescence, apoptosis, apoptosis, or on
Yes, we all know what that means.
transformation of somatic cells, God, affecting the health and lifespan of the individual.
That's why I didn't try to say that. That was very complicated.
Shorter telomeres have been associated with increased incidence of diseases and poor survival.
Yes.
So you do want to make sure you're looking after your telomeres.
Yes. You want them longer, not shorter. Okay. So here's a few other interesting things. Negative emotions can create nervous system chaos, but positive emotions do the opposite. Positive emotions can increase the brain's ability to make good decisions. You can boost your immune system by focusing on positive emotions, and positive emotions create physiological benefits in your body. And what's the first organ to develop when you're in utero? Do you know? It's on the screen. I'm talking about it. When you're a baby, the first organ to develop is
the heart. The
heart.
Beating before the brain.
It starts beating first. So it's really fascinating. And I was also reading that a mother's brainwaves synchronize with a baby's heartbeat and the heart waves. There's all this amazing electrical relationship.
And I bet we only know just a smidgen of that. You know, I think there'll be over time, there'll be so much more to come out around all.
Exactly. And just how that little tiny cell that starts dividing organizes itself into a body. There's some greater thing happening, and it's all connected to the field and the vibration and electrical magnetics. So the human heart's magnetic field can be measured several feet away from the body, which is what Kay was saying. You go into a room and someone's there and you can pick up if they're in a bad mood or they're grumpy. Or if you walk into a room and you're thinking loving thoughts, people just kind of feel warm and safe and gravitate towards you. So you can't hide how you feel. Your heart gives it away. And if we look at the scale of consciousness, the emotional scale of consciousness that David Hawkins developed, who's a psychiatrist, physician, spiritual teacher and lecturer, all the emotions he mapped in megahertz. So you can see that shame is like 20 megahertz, and enlightenment right at the top is like way off the Richter scale, like 700 to 1000 megahertz, and then you've got everything in between. So when you're looking at oils in the next few slides, you can kind of see how sometimes we're drawn to certain oils depending on our emotions, and if a higher frequency acts on a lower frequency, maybe we want to look at choosing oils around this a little bit higher than the frequency of the emotion we're in, I think anyway, to kind of lift it up. And there have been studies on using many different things like light, sound, and oils, frequencies. Music, have you heard of music set at like different megahertz, like 432? That helps move us up there into those feelings of love. And then sometimes we listen to music at a different frequency, and that helps to bring us down to more of a grounded state. So everything is energy. And there's not good and bad emotions. I just like to point that out. We don't want to be in enlightenment and joy the whole time, because that wouldn't be the human experience. But it's about being able to move up and down as we respond to things without getting kind of stuck. And if you're stuck in apathy, you don't have a lot of energy to do much, so you wouldn't get a lot done in your life. you know. But if you're in like a higher one of love, you're going to have a greater electromagnetic field. You're going to be able to achieve more, do more. So it's really interesting. What do you guys think about that? Had you heard of David Hawkins?
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't heard of him, but of David, but I have seen the emotional scale. Maybe that's where it's come from. I'm not quite sure. I know that Gary, and you might begin to move on to that, Gary Young used Bruce Tainto's frequency machine to measure the frequencies of young living oils.
Okay. I didn't have that information. I've got the frequency of the oils, but yeah, maybe you can tell us about that. Let me see what's on the next one. This is the frequencies of people and things. Yes. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, which is interesting. So if you look at the oils, they're up there really high. That's proper therapeutic grade essential oils, not ones that have been, mixed with other products, watered down, or not the best quality. So that's why we love Young Living. It's really farmed ethically. It's usually organic and from the best plants. So if you get those types of oils, you're up there around 47 to 580 megahertz. A healthy human body sits at around 62 to 72 megahertz. If you've got a cold, it goes down to around 58. If you've got the flu, it drops again, 57. A human body with cancer has been measured at 42 megahertz. And then a human body beginning to die starts to drop down, so you've got 25 megahertz. Fresh herbs around 20 to 27, dry herbs 12 to 22, fresh produce 10 to 15, but then look at canned foods. Who wants to eat those after you look at 0 megahertz? So what are they doing to our body?
Not
There's
much,
such a
not
difference.
much food.
No. Possibly lowering our frequency, definitely not boosting it. And then if we look at the organs, so we looked at the heart before, but all the organs have a frequency. So the brain, 71 to 90 megahertz, even all the different thyroid, parathyroid, different glands in the body, thymus, they all have a different vibration. They're kind of very similar though. They're all around between 50 and 70 or 90. So that's interesting. Kay, do you want to tell us how essential oil frequencies were measured then? Because you know the history of Gary Young. I didn't get that.
Well, I don't know a great deal about it other than it was Rob Tainto, Tainto. I believe that is the machine that he used to measure the frequencies of the oils.
Okay.
And this was done a long time ago. So he, just another, feather in Gary's cap of, his forward thinking, his ability to look beyond the surface, and his zest and passion for research, understanding, and creating products.
Sorry, I can't hear. My phone just jumped to somewhere else, but keep talking. I'll come back.
Yeah. Okay. Just his zest for wanting to learn and wanting to produce something that's not just smelling nice, something that's actually going to give us a positive vibration or effect on our body. And we all know that if you have a late night and you might have had one too many drinks, or you've under stress, or you've had some grief, or whatever it might be, there's so many things that can lower our vibration. And we know, and I think that's why we're all attracted to oils, because we smell them and you instantly just feel, a sense of a new space, a new breath, a new a new beginning to me. It's a really wonderful way to reset from where you've come from into where you go, into a better state of the now, for want of a better way to explain it.
Yeah. Yes, and I just wanted to say hi. I just noticed Josephine's watching all the way from Uganda, I think.
Oh, lovely.
And
She had
Jaya
a
from
couple of
Brisbane.
people. Yes, she
Yeah.
had a couple
Hi,
of people
guys.
in there.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, both very beautiful, amazing women. Yeah.
Mm.
So I lost a bit of audio there for a minute, Kay, but yeah, I'll play that back to you. What you said.
That's okay. I was just saying that, it's why we, I think those of us who are attracted to Young Living, particularly in our community, we are looking for staying upbeat, staying ahead of the game and of life, so to speak. But the frequencies of the oils, when we smell them, that's what I was saying, they put us in a new space. And to me, they give us a new beginning, a new outlook. They give us that moment just to reset and, have a new, just a new way forward.
Yeah, and they're actually changing our frequency. It's not just in our imagination. It's not just a placebo effect. It's actually coming in through the limbic system and affecting our brain and our whole nervous system and adjusting our frequency. So when I teach,
yes, sorry, that we have a physiological effect, don't we? Breathe, and then you go, often you'll drop your shoulders. You feel it in your body, which is very confirming that it's okay, it's all right.
But when you know how intricate the body is and how it all runs and how intricately profound to have the correct vibrations and frequencies without any distortion from any artificial smells and flavors, and it just really drives home to me what I already instinctively know, which is that these oils make my body sing in harmony.
Yes.
Other things come into my field and they don't give me that same vibration or frequency. And there's just something that's just a little bit off, like you might walk into a shop that they've got like a burner going or something, and there's just like, oh, that just stinks. And then you find they've got some, like oil or something that they're burning or that they're selling. Like when I walk past dusk, it just like, and some people are like, oh, it just smells beautiful. But that's because their vibration's already low and they don't actually understand that of what they're breathing in. But I think when you're exposed to the higher frequencies and the more pure frequencies, it's when you notice the lower ones that just actually do your body harm. Like that's what I'm really noticing now, things that don't sustain me anymore.
Yeah, and you're attracted to different oils at different times and definitely repelled from oils that aren't pure. Like you get a headache. I have a lot of people say to me they're allergic to certain oils, but when you ask them about it, they've been using ones that aren't pure. And so they've been getting toxic chemicals. So for example, perfumes might be labeled as having an essential oil in them, but they've also got other things. So I wear oils as perfumes, and I've been using mostly patchouli and recently rosemary, and I don't feel good without them now. Maybe I'm addicted. But it's just become a way of, it must really suit my frequency and vibration. I feel more calm, I feel more grounded, and it takes that feeling of a little bit jittery anxiety away. And another one I use, which Jess was telling me about, the vetiver grass in her garden. I've got vetiver oil. Oh, you can't see it there. Yeah, vetiver oil, which I use to help me sleep. It tends to just put my frequency and vibration in a very relaxed mode. I'd like to look at what the frequency of vetiver is. But then if you look at Valor, I use that a lot with my clients. So I do Reiki and sound healing and trauma yoga. And Valor, even though it's a low frequency, it's very soothing and settling. So you don't always have to go for the very high ones. Sometimes it's too much for someone who's feeling low and traumatized to go straight to something that's really high vibration. So I find that interesting. Like sometimes peace and calming, I know that says 2 on there, but the actual first peace and calming is 105 megahertz. Sometimes that feels too much to me, and I want to go back to something like Valor. Have you guys had that experience of finding different oils match? Like sometimes they feel too high or something?
I think that's that varies. Some days you might fall in love with one and think, like, for example, joy was when I first started using the oils, it was every day I had joy on. It was, you know, my go-to oil. Whereas I find I have other favourites now, like Lady Sclerol is something that I'm very attracted to these days. So as we change vibrationally, what we're attracted to also changes vibrationally as well.
Yeah. We're always going
It
up
took
and
a
down
year.
relational scale and vibration scale.
It took a year for Bella for me to like Bella. A year. And I knew I needed to use it, and I was still using it, and I'm like, I just don't really like this smell. Now I want to bathe in it. Like, it's beautiful. Like one day I picked it up and I said to my partner, I said, here, I think you need to use this today, because he was a bit anxious, and he was becoming like floor manager and stuff like that. And I said, I think you need to use this today. And I go, it doesn't really smell that nice, but I think you need to put a little bit of this on. And I opened it up and I sniffed it, and I was like, oh, this is really nice. And ever since then it's been fine. But for a year, every time I used it, I was just like, ugh. But sometimes that is showing that that's what you're needing to use too.
Yes. Yeah. Something that repels you actually need.
Well, it's interesting in the oils, and is that because it triggers an old memory, maybe the memory of a certain trauma or an unpleasant memory, which is really what a trauma is anyway, to varying degrees. So it might, it's like, you know, sometimes we don't want to hear something about ourselves because on some levels we know it's so true, and we resist often that, you know, the reality that we might have to, you know, do inner work or because
shadow work.
things, memories, feelings, they come to the surface. And if we want them healed, we have to sit with it and, you know, work through the grief or the, you know, the anger or the frustration, so that we can come out the other side and release all that and let it go, so we can be in a new place.
I love how you said that. Yeah, it's so true. And often it leaves us feeling vulnerable and open, so it might take a while to open up to that frequency.
Yes, yes. And that's a really good point, Mel, because when we step into a new place, it's almost like, you know, learning a new skill or a new hobby or a new art or something. At first it feels awkward, and then after a while you know, it takes a little while for us to sink our skin into it, or to you know, I suppose it's like moving into a new home or something. It doesn't really feel like home until you've, you know, walked around the house and got to know where the light switches are and all those kind of things. It's all new, and it's all new to our muscles. It's all new to our mind, new to our emotions, all those things. So stepping into a new place emotionally or spiritually or even mentally, it can feel a little bit insecure at first.
Well, change. We, as human beings, we don't like change.
Mm.
So that's why we often stick with the devil we know or the bad situation, because it's familiar. So yeah. But ultimately, life is all about change, and we're all vibrating and moving and changing. So the oils, I find, are a beautiful way to support that change and to help calm the nervous system, to increase feelings of happiness, to raise it up when I'm feeling a little bit flat. This is another list of different essential oil frequencies. So Idaho Blue Spruce is up there at 580 megahertz, and Rose 320. So they're quite high. And then you have
Blue Cypress from Australia is I think in the 400s, high 400s, or maybe 420, 470, I think, we believe.
Really high. Yeah. And then you have things like frankincense, also a really high one there. Lavender, 118. Yeah, so they're just a few to look at. Do you want to share your favorite essential oil and how it affects your vibration? Anybody? Your mood or your health or your frequency?
Well, I like them all. I like them all. And if I, like I've had a couple of days this week where I've got 3/4 of the way through the day and I've kind of gone, I haven't even used an oil yet. No wonder I don't feel like, I haven't gone down that, that little daily ritual for some reason. We didn't have power here for a couple of days. So that puts you out of your routine and your way. So it's, if ever I'm feeling a bit out of kilter, in all honesty, I've just got to go and grab an oil and it just resets my frequency. So so the ones that are high in sesquiterpenes, I think, are the ones that are going to be, they're the brain oils for reprogramming the brain. Things like helichrysum and frankincense, myrrh, all of those too. So there's the frequencies. And just as I'm thinking, I wonder whether what they're made of, their chemical compound, it would make sense that has an effect on their frequencies too.
Yeah.
So whatever the sesquiterpenes are.
That'll have to be the next masterclass. Yeah, I was reading that, all the different components of essential oils. So that's something I'd like to learn a bit more about. Maybe we can have a class on that. Yeah.
Alan Simpson, when I first discovered Young Living, he did a class and he talked about, and there's monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes, and phenols. And I'll never forget the way he explained it, because it was in layman's terms and it makes a lot of sense. So what the oils do, they work inside our cells for scrubbing, polishing, and cleaning them, resetting the cells, becoming more open and responsive. And when they're more responsive, then they're going to talk to each other a whole lot better and work in harmony.
Way of putting it. Jaya said she loves frankincense. Yes. Yeah. Frankincense is one that acts on like the opening the crown chakra and connecting more to source. So that's interesting how that works on a vibrational level, spiritual level. But I know it's a popular one in meditation and yoga. So yeah, like some oils, I don't know how they're scrubbing and everything ourselves. You'll have to tell us more about that. But yeah,
I like
I'm
layman's
sure,
terms.
yeah.
Easy to
At
understand.
that level, they're all
Sometimes I kind of
vibrating
go,
at that level in our cell, creating different things. Yeah, and some of us are vibrating and helping us open up top, and others are vibrating and helping us connect below. But that's not very scientific, but I'm sure there are ways to explain it. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, that's all I had tonight to just run through. So I'll just stop the share and we can just have a little chat for the next few minutes. Don't want to keep everyone too long. But yeah.
There's a chap down here. I actually love these. Hey, that's Barb. Yeah.
Oh, thieves. Yes. I think it smells like Christmas. I'm loving my thieves toothpaste at the moment. Yeah. And of course, thieves, if people don't know, is so good for cleaning, antimicrobial as well. So if you wear that, you'll get the benefits acting on your nervous system, but you also get the repelling of viruses and bacteria. So that's exciting. So what's in thieves? Barb,
clove.
do you remember?
Oh yeah,
Clove. Yeah. Clove and lemon and eucalyptus. Oh, you're muted, Barb.
I actually had toothache the other day and I rubbed some thieves on the gum and it went away.
Fantastic. The mouthwash is wonderful as well. And good for gargle. So if you've got a frog in your throat or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I took your advice. I used it when I had a sore throat. I used the spray.
Yes.
And that really, really helped. Yeah. And I was reading a study on just the amazing power of cloves, like antimicrobial, antifungal, antibacterial, anti-cancer, like amazing when you look at the different research studies. Yeah.
It's one of the very highest antioxidant. Sorry, Jess.
Antioxidant.
Antiseptic, anti-everything.
Anti-everything. Yeah.
Apart from good health.
I just got to say, last night, Kay, with your live, and I said my dog was licking my feet because I had Valor on it. She didn't die.
Oh, no.
We didn't think she would.
That's fantastic. I don't think she would have gone for it. I think if they don't like it, she wouldn't come near you.
No. I didn't want her to lick it because I wanted to stay on my foot, so I'd shoot her away.
Well, next time you better share. Come on.
Oh, it's
you
the new one, so I don't want to share that.
With all paws up.
Yeah, no, it's the original one, so I don't want to share that with the dog.
No. I think we can still get that now, though, can't we?
It's come out again.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, Mel, you did a lot of research. That was lots of really good information there. So thank you.
Yeah, look, it's just scraping the tip of the iceberg. There's so much information. So yeah, I'll keep researching because
the limbic system's just when I did it, that was so much more polished than when I did my little chat on the limbic system. At least knew how to say the words properly. But it's just like, it just really fascinates me. Like, it's fascinating how it all works and how there's, receptors in our body for those oils, like for the vibration of those oils, like it's like our body's been built for them.
Yeah, well, it has.
Well, we are nature.
Yeah,
so we respond to nature. Yeah.
We have receptors all over our body too. That was something we learned. It's just in they're all over our body.
All over.
All over. Which is quite amazing.
It is. And it's such an ancient, traditional, known wisdom that has kind of been lost or watered down. But, I was just in Uluru with the Anangu women, and they are so in touch with plants and plant medicine. They wanted to show us, this, come and look at this bush medicine for this and this for that. And it was the same when I was in East Arnhem Land. The Yolngu women knew all about the different plants, which one you took if you had, low or high blood pressure, which ones you took for toothache. We've kind of lost that connection to country and plants. But we're getting it back. So that's the exciting thing.
It's definitely a big part of why I'm so passionate about them, because they're just natural, but naturally powerful.
Natural, and then you've got to wonder why lots of natural medicine from plants is kind of dissed by mainstream. But, maybe it's a threat to the pharmaceutical company. Did I say that out loud?
No, just subliminally set up.
Yeah, anyway. So
100%.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for joining. And I'm going to go because it's 9:00 and my boys want to watch the rest of Schitt's Creek.
Okay. You can enjoy
Thank
your
you, Mel.
evening.
That was great.
I do too. I love that show. It's a good laugh.
Okay.
All right.
Night, everybody.
All right, thanks
Mel.
everyone.
Good night. Thank
Bye,
you.
darlings.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.